sign that we're not able to take
More kind.
personal care of devotees or give that kind of shelter.
We are more and more accustomed to conduct lives on our own terms. See, on our own terms. That's called conditioned. We have conditions. Okay, I will practice Krishna consciousness like this. And this is me, and this is Krishna. And this may be my spiritual master, that's fine. But I will conduct Krishna consciousness like that. I think that's actually for me, it's very good like that. That's so the unity in the heads of this was erased. It came in the beginning, like the hippies also had ideas how to serve Krishna. But somehow Prabhupada erased all this. And in the end it was just Prabhupada, what shall we do? And Prabhupada said, and even there was the idea like Mukunda Das Goswami, he was a musician. So he was on a certain point wanted to just get out of London for a little while in the middle of the action when they opened the temple. And he got an invitation to make some jamming session, somewhere in San Francisco again, with paid ticket and everything, just for a few weeks. Prabhupada writes to him back, you let against someone is a shock to me, because, we are just opening a temple in London, your presence is absolutely required, you are the most important man. I would humbly like to ask you not deviate from your duty. And he was a straight ahead attack on his concept, on his false ego, on his idea what to do. And he was not trying to play some rock and roll, it was a devotional record to be produced, right? Everything for Krishna. No, Prabhupada answered the problem. He didn't dare to get out of that London. And there were those who did dare. And they went to the left. That you find also in Prabhupada's studies. Prabhupada was very sad about this, but he didn't compromise. He took that risk to really put devotees on the line because he was on the line. It was so obvious Prabhupada is giving whatever he has. Come on. With his old body, and all these diseases and all that stuff. It was so evident that Prabhupada is giving really whatever he can give, so why not me? You felt terrible in front of Prabhupada, seeing him coughing in a lecture and dragging himself from one program to another, and then what could I say? Sorry Prabhupada, I think I have to go do this and do that, and you felt like a criminal, And it's amazing, Prabhupada pushed actually relatively very little. Just by his purity, it was so intimidating. You wouldn't dare. It's like you couldn't dare. That's purity. Prabhupada just look at you like, how could this idea come in your mind? Just looked, and you were like, how could I ever think something like this? Of course not. What should I do? It was so instant. It's like Krishna saying to Arjuna, how could this impurity come in me? My friend. Krishna is actually not pushing out. When you read Bhagavad Gita, he just explains, and even at the end, he tells Arjuna, it's up to you to make your decision. But of course, if you don't follow what I say, you will be lost. That choice you don't have. But to choose if you get lost or not, that's your choice. Prabhupada preached exactly on that line. So we have immense need to always remember Prabhupada and never forget him. That's for everybody. Guru, sannyasi, brahmachari, grihastha, congregational member, who cares? For everybody it's the same thing. And as you can see and will see, then Prabhupada's disciples are fading out one after another. Sometimes prematurely, being slightly covered, but sometimes naturally, Hello, we are all dying here. So who will carry on? That's the real question. Who will carry on? And Prabhupada imposes it upon us all the time. He said, I'm a dying man. You are the future of Krishna consciousness. You must carry on. And we're like, me carry on? I remember even in his absence, this was like a mysterious issue. Who will carry on Krishna consciousness? I remember the lecture from Suhara Swami once. He just got really fed up and he said, You all sit here and you look like you think that the Guru Parampara will end up with you. Meaning, if you don't preach and prepare grounds of Krishna consciousness can go on, then it can also be covered here. But the mission will go on, it will be picked up by somebody else. It's like Prabhupada showed. There was no plan in Lord Chaitanya's, read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then there will be International Society for Krishna Consciousness. No. The only thing Lord Chaitanya says, in every town, in every village, the holy name, my name will be heard. That's the prediction. Now the question, who's going to do it? So Prabhupada gave us that. We brought it that far. Now it is heard in many places. There is even bhaktas in Iceland, and there is bhaktas in every corner of the world. But who will maintain, who will sustain, and who will make sure that all the Kali impact is not taking shape? Because it's already taking shape. I just met recently a lady. It's actually a Christian lady, but is completely tied with the church. She's a typical altruistic lady. Her job is counseling dying people. That's great. And amazingly, even still in Germany, the mood still goes on that the Hare Krishnas are all, cuckoo sect, weird things, I never met so many Nazis in the garbs of Christians like in Germany. It's really concentrated. They are all, we always got it on the street. I'm a Christian, Jesus, and I will call the police. It was always like one mantra, so it's connected. So we asked people, Jesus is now the chief of the police or what? Because there was always like, Jesus, I will call the police. It was always connected. So that was our German preaching. But this lady was like, I just looked at her and she looked at me, in a certain age, this idea of Hare Krishna cuckoo, it's not very convincing. How can somebody be cuckoo for 40 years, like that? And I'm tired. I'm tired of people looking at me, the cuckoo Hare Krishna, I just look back, I say, come on, this cuckoo here, you or me? I'm tired to explain people, no, we are Vedic, we are very noble, I'm tired of this. Why should I explain myself to this person? And they feel it. So this lady is kind of size down, Her Christian arrogance, so-called Christian arrogance, evaporated very quickly. And I expressed really appreciation for her work. I said, you must have quite some realization. She said, dying children, that's the worst. She's, counseling dying leukemia children. And she couldn't understand, how can an 8-year-old child die like this? So I just smiled and I said, that's because you think it's a child. Don't you see how the body is changing? Your body changed, my body changed. So that body will also change. So you think this is the 8-year-old child, but let's say the child survives 10 years, and it's an 18-year-old child. Well, that's not my child anymore, isn't it? The body changed. But the person is the same, isn't it? And she completely agreed. So I said, you are talking to a child, but actually it's a person, right? It's a soul, isn't it? She said, oh yeah, the soul. But she had no idea what it is. It was very easy to come across because actually there was a mood of respect. Because she had really some realizations, What happens when people die and leave the body. And this is what Prabhupada was so impressive about Prabhupada. He could relate to anybody like that on the level of his realization. And as soon as there was some little realization, some little thing, he drove from that immediately. So people felt so encouraged. I can really use what I experienced in my life. But what did the hippies bring? Frustration, and disillusion, revolution. Prabhupada used that immediately. Yeah, good, you're right. Now use it for people. That was important.
How can we secure that Prabhupada's moods will not be changed, like kirtan standards, prasadam, everything like that?
Can you give an example? And when the deviation takes such a concentrated and organized form, it goes somewhere else and elsewhere. Many of my companions did it. I don't want to be too specific now. I'm recorded here on controversial issues again. Why do you think some of my highly respected godbrothers are preaching in countries even where they actually shouldn't be? Because they couldn't preach in the country they were. They couldn't just cope anymore with this modes and with this conditioning and with this persistence. No, it's going to be our American Krishna consciousness. This is the consciousness, Krishna consciousness 2014, you know? And you are from 1969, this old stuff. So he was persistent, and he just ultimately left and started in a field which suddenly opened. I mean, you know, it's quite a big planet, you know. There are many places one can go. And when you cannot, it's like gardening. You cannot grow here your vegetable on a desert. So then go somewhere where it's more raining, and so on. Even Prabhupada in his letters you find, he says sometimes, just let's get out of there. Rarely, but he did that. He said, why are you doing that? It's too dangerous. We aren't going to preach it. It's too dangerous, nothing comes out of it. So, especially as a brahmacharya, Grihastha is tough because you are tied up to a locality. And somewhere you have to survive there by any means. But even then I can give you examples of Grihasthas even doing that. Moving around, sticking together, creating congregations which are going to be based on this principle, not that deviation. It's a question of a personal decision. Prabhupada made this personal decision. If you read his letters, 1969, he still started to unite with Gaudiya Math. They called him for a meeting. Come and justify your action. What are you doing there in the headquarters of Gaudiya Math? Come. Explain. Answer from Prabhupada, he said, oh yeah, great. I welcome your cooperation. I need 5 new Mridangas. I need this and that many saris even. You know, if you could kindly cooperate and help me, that would be very nice. I could see how this big swamis, this Abai Babu, this pharmacy Abai Babu is now asking for new Medanga, come on. They wouldn't send him even that. And then ultimately Prabhupada said, no, I cannot come to the meeting, ticket is too expensive. But if you pay, I will come. They wouldn't pay even the ticket. So, it's hilarious. But Prabhupada he even writes, he used the word amalgamated. I don't mind. Hare Krishna movement is going to be amalgamated. It's just another branch of Gaudiya Math anyway. That's how Prabhupada saw it. But there was no cooperation. But Prabhupada was not a separatist, as some may think, that he started like his own movement. No, that was not his movement. Not at all. But there was no feedback from the other side. It's like you open a temple in Aarhus, okay? There's a temple, and you sit in Aarhus and you write to Copenhagen, I need some more books. There's no books coming. Please come to Copenhagen and justify your action in Aarhus. What are you doing there? Do you accept the authority of the local LGB? Please bow down to his lotus feet. I went through this. And I can tell you in vocations in ISKCON that this goes on. It's hilarious. Like you have to justify that you dare to preach. With not my blessing. With some grihasthas, they out there in all this. Come, bow down. Accept the supreme authority of the local management. Well, fortunately, this kind of stuff doesn't fly in Denmark. Actually, it's a nice place. Because here, anybody who dares to preach, and this is actually quite highly appreciated. Thank you very much for every book which goes out. Thank you very much even for every book which went out in Roskilde today. It's a great thing. Who is doing that? But this is where actually devotees also fail, since we are speaking about Denmark. Sometimes a little bit, thank you that you are here helps, And let's admit we all need that. We all need sometimes to hear, thank you, you are here, good, thank you. And this is what came from Prabhupada. Thanking his disciples. There's a puja lecture, I can give you exactly this is a few years later. It's heartbreaking. Vyasa puja of Prabhupada being glorified, by that time ISKCON was quite big. And Prabhupada turns the whole event he turns the whole thing around. Instead of the disciples glorifying him, he glorifies the disciples. And thanks them for being here, not blooping, assisting this mission. Telling quite frankly, I couldn't do anything without you. Thank you very much, I'm an old man. I just, can you imagine how they felt there, It's just unbelievable. He felt real like that. A few days before he died, he closed his eyes and all his devotees around his bed, and Prabhupada dying, and he said, and now you all Vaishnavas be kind to me, Yeah? It's like, when Prabhupada said you are Vaishnava, you were Vaishnava. Sometimes in his absence, he didn't act like Vaishnavas, right? But in his presence, it was easy. It was so easy. When Prabhupada was present, he told, you are Goswami. And you became a Goswami, Just took sannyas. 25 years old boy. That's hilarious. Only Lord Chaitanya could do that. And Prabhupada said, you are Goswami. You are Goswami. And they were acting like that. But in his absence, then you had to really be fixed in Vani. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what we have to fight for. That Vani, has to be preserved. There were more researchers to go into this. I'm averse. I don't know, people always say I criticize, I don't know. But why they pull all the other books? Why they pull all this from some shopping street in my bazaar? They buy this Veda and that Veda and this thing and that thing. And any quote you hear, what did Prabhupada say? Why there's so much to research from Prabhupada. I'm even amazed that devotees take that bold step to grab some samhita and have their own translation going on. How do I know? It may be right, may be wrong. I don't know. The Prabhupada, very difficult to twist his words around. The attempt was already made, and it's already made, There's even an agenda how to bring a new version of his books and take all these things out, Women less intelligent and leave them not It's just agitating people, We don't want to agitate anybody. We want to be nice guys. This is my recollection from it's just a name. Prabhupada's preaching mood. This is from a meeting with this is from a recorded in a diary of Ramakrishna Maharaj, which is almost like recorded with a tape recorder. This is Prabhupada preaching to some high-ranking Sri Sitaram Singh, a member of parliament from Bihar, visiting Prabhupada. And he came with his relatives. That's Prabhupada half a year before he died, a few months before he died. Immediately Prabhupada attacked the narrow-mindedness of party politics. Then he attacked the politicians for the attitude of non-violence, which they say was preached in the Gita. This was a philosophy Gandhi had started. Offend Gandhi in India, it's a capital offense, really. Prabhupada said that in the first verse of Bhagavad Gita it was stated, Yuyutsava. Why speak of non-violence? Prabhupada does not take care of an iota for anyone's position. He simply preaches absolutely and condemns totally all illusions, irrespective of anyone's sentiments. That's what I demonstrated so many times. Even devotees are going, Prabhupada, please. Why now? They knew Prabhupada can be very heavy, but he was so unpredictable. He came out suddenly, in a meeting or with something which devotees were completely caught by surprise. They invited the man and they were like giving him a garland and fed him prasadam, and then Prabhupada smashed him to pieces, And then he walked out of the door completely. Stop. Prabhupada just, especially in the end of his Srila, Prabhupada was not obliged. That's explained here. The Tamal is telling Prabhupada, you are challenging Prabhupada. Prabhupada replied, who cares for me? Whatever little success we have achieved is due to purity. Purity means not make 15 achmans a day, but not to change one word, chastity. Then there is a circumstantial consideration, which you find also in the letters, where Prabhupada is circumstantially preaching, not changing the essence, but how it's applied, that we can discuss, and that we should discuss, and Prabhupada wants us to discuss that. Prabhupada, this is unique. Prabhupada compares himself, makes a comparative study with Gandhi. That's at the end of his preaching, 1900, before he dies. Gandhi failed for 20 years in South Africa to get equal rights for Indians. But now the Europeans are buying our books, and so they are appreciating Indian culture. That's called equal rights for Indians. And 30 years he felt in India, additionally. Gandhi was in jail, and it was Subhas Chandra Bose who got the independence, who killed English people on sight, indiscriminately. Prabhupada revealed the secret. That was the guy who got the English out of India, not Gandhi. Gandhi thought, the British are letting me sit with them in loincloth. What kind of success is that? 50 years spoiled, total nonsense. Non-violence, distorting the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita begins with violence. He said he didn't like the Krishna who fights. To quote from Gandhi. So he's creating his own Krishna. This man gave so much service to India, and what's the result? I am working for 10 years with so much result. Palena Parichyate. And it's a fact. You see, in 10 years, what Prabhupada left behind, just because it's not advertised in India, and it's not advertised in the front pages of the newspaper, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. But I believe some of my Srila Maharaj was one of them who said he didn't start it to glorify Prabhupada, and the world didn't caught up who that was. It was 20 hours before Srila Maharaj died. He told me, he was big as Jesus. They don't know it. So, we are here still in the little Hare Krishna sect in Bengaluru, drinking there and feeding the dope heads, on the street prasadam. But, time may come, we will be ourselves surprised what we were actually part of. I don't think we understand what we are part of. I don't think we understand the greatness of Prabhupada and the amazing message and this Vani he left behind. Otherwise, he would be much more appreciative and careful not to mess it up. Playing with Krishna consciousness like, you are nice, I'm nice. What did you say? It's okay, You make it so cheap. And therefore one will be called arrogant and heavy and who knows what, because one realizes more and more what a precious and what a dignified existence Prabhupada is. What a possibility to raise above this mediocrity which is surrounding us and about this degraded circumstances we are constantly confronted with. Just the power to raise over the power of your senses, it makes life so dignified, No. You don't have to have sex life tonight. No. And you don't have to just eat that because somebody put it there in front of your nose. And you don't have to believe what they say in the newspaper and TV. As a matter of fact, you don't have to take part in this at all. As Prabhupada raised in letter, no. We are not voting because we are not implicated. Because that makes you implicated. And this is one severe deviation which entered ISKCON. This social paranoia, this inferiority complex. No, we are not the bold-headed idiots, No. We are big people. Now we are seeking the favors of the European Union and the European Parliament. Please integrate us in European Union. We are part of the society. Please understand. There's no big thing, And there's money coming along with it. Please, give us something from European Union. No, you can see it in a different way. It's a little bit like collecting on Sankirtan. You are purifying the money from the people they give you. But the process to get to this, it's so humiliating. And basically what you have to get initiated by European Union. You get re-initiated. No, Srila Prabhupada, this is not demons. This is wonderful people who give us now donation. So we can preach. Preach what? You'll be amazed to find a letter from Prabhupada. He says, we should be very scrutinizingly examining where the money comes from we take. That happened after the incident where one bhakta who was strongly affiliated with the local temple was caught with a suitcase full of drugs on the airport, which was later on repeated in various ways, with the pure intention to sell the drugs and donate the money to the temple. He was identified as a Hare Krishna, and that made his way into the headlines of the newspapers. Hare Krishna selling drugs, that's how they finance their temples. After that came up, Prabhupada wrote a letter, I can quote to you. He said we should be very careful what kind of money we are accepting, where that comes from. It's amazing. He wasn't concerned about the money, he was concerned about preserving the purity, preserving the way how we actually, how we can backfire on us. Now we know that Prabhupada accepted money in a way where you could say that was the sacrifice to be made to kick this movement off. But do we have to continue with this? Personally, I have some doubts. To continue to sell ourselves to European Union, like we are here, we are also part of the humanity and society, and we are just another assortment of, you have Muslims, you have Hindus, you have anything, Hare Krishna is the same, we are just really good people, You are good, we are good, we are all good, you give us the money. We have the right to be part of the European Union. Prabhupada never agreed on that. He said we should always preach on our own strength, our own terms, and full dependence on Krishna. That was a very unique feature of this preaching.
Prabhupada said this with a fish, that if you can catch the fish without getting wet.
Yeah. He said no money is made when he was so many complaints about Sankirtan tactics. He said every businessman has his technique how to sell. They don't criticize that. In a society where people are so massively cheated by advertisement, massively brainwashed daily by tons of advertisement to buy completely worthless or even most